Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the Poverty Princess. Today is the absolute perfect day to bake some love in your oven. I'm talking about chocolate cake with homemade peanut butter frosting. Two little things I want to mention. This is a one-pan cake, so you don't have to worry about layers. And two, you can use dollar store peanut butter with the frosting. I don't use expensive name brand peanut butter, and trust me, the frosting comes amazing. Today is such a cold, dreary day in Pennsylvania. It's supposed to get in the single digits tonight. So while I'm kicking back binging Lock and Key, I think it's called, on Netflix, I am going to be enjoying a nice warm piece of chocolate cake. So let's get into it. Everything that you're going to need to make this cake and the frosting. Alright, so first I'm going to grease the sides and bottom of my cake pan. As I said, this is a one pan cake. You don't have to worry about layers with this recipe, and you can use a stick of butter or margarine to grease it, or you could also spray it if you have cooking spray. So I'm just going to lightly rub it around. So it should look something, if you could see, you can see a little bit like that. And I'm also going to preheat my oven to 300 degrees. Alright, so I have everything assembled that we need for the cake, with the exception of buttermilk. And I use a little trick with a little bit of lemon juice in milk, which is a quick cheat if you don't have buttermilk. Honestly, I don't buy it. I don't use it. Maybe once in a while if I was gonna do fried chicken, biscuits, things like that. So to spend money on it when I don't use it often doesn't make any sense. So the little cheat with lemon juice and milk just takes care of that problem. Alright, so we're going to need 2 cups of flour. So I'm using my mixing bowl that actually goes in the stand. So I'm going to butter knife to level off. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Next, 2 cups of granulated sugar. Continue that sugar. So 2 cups of sugar. I just have that sitting on my chair. Next, we're going to go with 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. And I need to grab a quarter cup, measuring cup. Thought I had it out. Oh my goodness. Slacking today, guys. And no, that one I just put in the cocoa did not fall on the floor. The third cup did. And I will put that in my sink to wash in a moment. Alrighty, so 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. And again, as with peanut butter, you do not need expensive name brand items to make a good cake. This was from Save-A-Lot, Ginger Evans, and I really enjoyed their baking items, but now that they went out of business in town, oh my. Put myself and a lot of other people in a pickle. Next is Good Old Fashioned baking soda, and as you can see, I'm not even using name brand baking soda. Arm & Hammer? No, I got this in Dollar Tree. So for that, I'm going to need 1.5, let me see here, 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, that's a tablespoon. Okay, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. Also going to use some baking powder, and this was from Giant, I believe. So I'm just going to use a half of a teaspoon of that. A teaspoon of salt. We'll also be using 2 large eggs. I'm going to actually mix them up separately real quick in a separate bowl. We'll also be using a cup of vegetable oil, and the last, well, next to last ingredient is a surprise, but I'm going to tell you anyway what it is now. It is a cup of cold coffee. This recipe is identical to the recipe my gram had. When I was a little girl, this basic cake was what she first taught me to make as far as cakes. So when I seen this post in Ding Ding It's Dinner Time, which by the way guys, I'll include the link to our Facebook group. It is a recipe food group. Share recipes, pictures of meals we make, things we bake. No drama, just strictly good food. And if you'd be interested, the link is down below in the description box. Anyway, this recipe was like so reminiscent of baking in the kitchen with my gram. I absolutely fell in love with it since I don't have her recipe. And when I seen that the recipe called for coffee, I knew somebody older had this recipe, because a lot of the recipes nowadays do not use cold coffee. But it is that cup of coffee that makes the batter just a little bit richer. So that is the next to last ingredient. Also 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So this is 1/4, so one, and I have, yeah, we'll drop over, not going to hurt anything. And as I said, I'll be adding my eggs into a separate mixing bowl. Now, you see me throw eggshells in the sink and you're thinking, what in the world is this woman doing? Well, I rinsed them out, dried them on a paper towel, and I'm crushing them up now in freezer bags for gardening season. We'll have a pretty good supply of eggshells for our garden. Might as well do it now, and then that way I don't really have to worry about saving eggshells in the summertime. Makes sense, right guys? Alrighty, so I'm going to mix up my eggs. Beep you heard in the background, that was my oven. I preheated it to 300. Very quickly, I'm just going to beat my eggs. Like so. I'm going to add them right into my batter. Put that right in the sink. And my vegetable. Alright, I had to run down my pantry, get my last bottle of vegetable oil. I guess I got spoiled. My regular food pantry used to often have it. So when they did, I used to actually grab bottles and extra or keep downstairs. So time is going to come where hopefully when I get back into my regular food pantry, which I hope is in the next few weeks, that they will continue having it so I could build my stash up. I originally had 3 bottles plus one that I had up here. This is the very last bottle that I have, so you can imagine how long it's been since I actually bought vegetable oil. Alright, so I am going to mix this all together so far, and then I am going to be adding the buttermilk sheet and my cold coffee. Cold coffee coming right up. I added the coffee as you've seen, so last item is the milk with lemon juice cheat. I don't have an exact measurement for you guys. I've been doing this long enough that I know by sight how much to do. All I could say is if you need to go that route prior to making the cake, check on Google. If you need a cup of buttermilk, what would the ratio be with lemon juice and milk? And it will tell you. Sometimes in cookbooks they also have that as a hint, a cheat. As I said, I've been doing this long enough that I just leave this set for a few minutes and it does start thickening, and I can tell in a few minutes as I keep stirring it when it's thick enough to add to a cake. It works perfect. It's a great substitute, and take my word on that. Last item to be added, and I mix it all up and then put it in my pan. Now this is going to bake for roughly 1 hour, and the reason is, 1, it is at that lower temperature, and 2, because of the ingredients with the coffee and also with the buttermilk. So 1 hour at 300 degrees, this will be fine. So while this goes in the oven, I'm going to do up all the dirty dishes and everything here, mixing bowls, everything. And in a little bit, I will be working on my frosting. So I'm going to pour this batter right into my pan. Let's spatula quick. And definitely want to get every little bit of cake batter out of here. So scrape the sides and the bottom of your bowl. Really good, guys. Turn my light on so I can check on my cake visually, and I am putting it in. I will be back after cleaning everything up. And cake just came out of the oven. I said literally just came out of the oven. Alright, so for the peanut butter frosting, you're going to need a few ingredients. A half cup of softened butter. So I am going to use this butter spread that I have. It's from Aldi's. A cup of creamy peanut butter. This is peanut butter I get from the food pantries. You can use Dollar Tree peanut butter too. 2 cups of confectioner sugar. And 3 tablespoons of milk. You might need a little more, you may need a little less, as you need it. Alright, let's make some peanut butter frosting. Alright, so there is a half cup of butter, and now I'm going to add 1 cup of creamy peanut butter. Spoonful should do it. Like so. And just transfer it into my mixing bowl. Alright, now I'm going to mix the butter and peanut butter together. What the heck? I always get the sides mixed up. Butter's mixed in. Now I'm going to add my confectioner sugar. And this calls for 2 cups of it. So I'm going to open this up and measure out 2 cups. I added 2 tablespoons of milk so far, and just to see if I need a third. One more will do the trick. Beat your frosting for at least 3 minutes so it is good and spreadable. And now to frost this cake up. Now what I usually do when I make this cake, after I have it all frosted, I usually put it in the refrigerator for like, I don't know, a half hour or so. Basically just to give the frosting a little bit of a chance to, like, I'm not going to say harden, but a thicken. I mean, it is perfectly fine to eat it now, as is. I just prefer to have the frosting like a little bit more hardened on the cake. That's all. It sure is good. And this, my friends, is how I like it. It's been in the fridge for about 15 minutes. Not quite as hard as I like it, but maybe in about another 15. But it is definitely going to be some yummy goodness. So, if you like this video, guys, please give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit my subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care, and I will see you real soon. Have a great evening. Stay warm, guys, for everyone in cold states. It's in double digits tonight here in PA. And remember, this recipe is as good as Grandma used to make. I'll see you soon. Take care. Good night.